What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Wide Body Nation. Today we are addressing another top concern of the Wide Body Nation, and that is what to do if your trade-in, the car you have right now, you owe more on it than it's worth. So for instance, say you have a 2012 Hyundai Sonata and you owe 10, 11 grand on it, but it's only worth 5 or 6 grand. What to do about that when you actually go into the dealership to go ahead and make your car deal? Because yes, you have options, and some of them are or can be very good options for you to go ahead and get yourself out of that potentially rough situation where you're paying way more for a car than it's actually worth. So in this video, we're gonna go over what your options are. Then I'm gonna actually do a mock-up deal for you. And then we're gonna talk about at the end a couple little tips and tricks to help avoid this predicament, this problem in the future. Because believe it or not, about half of Americans who have car loans find themselves in this predicament, some more severe than others. But you know, if half the Americans have this problem, then let's go ahead and figure out a solution for them and for you guys in the Wide Body Nation. So we are actually going to use this vehicle right here as part of our deal, because as you guys know, I actually like to talk numbers, talk deals on real cars. We're not just out here in the ether talking about random cars, talking about Lambos, talking about Porsches that don't exist. We're talking about actual cars that you guys want to see deals made on. So that's why I have this pulled up right here. Let's jump on over to Kelley Blue Book. Now, before we dive into this, just a quick reminder, I have these Powerbeats Pro still in the box from Amazon Prime Day, just burning a hole in my countertop. I'm itching to send these out to one lucky subscriber at 1,000 subs. So make sure you guys go ahead, tap that subscribe button. It's free, and it gets you entered to win for those headphones, $250 headphones at 1,000 subs. With that being said, let's get into it. Now, Kelley Blue Book has this article that's written this year, and it says, upside down on your car, here's what to do. And if you guys ever hear upside down, negative equity, or underwater, that's all, you know, phrases, slang in the sales world for them saying that you owe more on your trade-in than it is actually worth. Now, this Kelley Blue Book article, this Kelley Blue Book article gives us some options. It has a little primer, but I've already introduced you guys to this whole predicament here. Option 1, roll over the existing debt into the new car loan, which is part of what we're going to be doing today. So option 1, I'm going to show you how to do it. So basically what they're saying is, let's say you owe 10 grand on your 2012 Hyundai Sonata, but it's only worth 5. That difference right there of 5 grand on the trade-in value, that 5 grand, you're going to owe it, but it can be rolled into the loan. So it's not like, boom, pay off this 5 grand right now. It can be like, hey, we're just going to factor it in to the car payment as if your 2020 wide body SCAT pack was just 5 grand more. So it's not amazing, but it still can be better than what you're sitting in right now. So it is a solution. Option 2, you can find a new car with incentives, and basically they're saying find a new car for such a steal of a deal that it actually just basically kind of makes your problem go away. You're saving so much money on a new car, on a new wide body SCAT pack, that it's not even an issue anymore. And I will show you what they mean by that as well in the mock-up deal that we do after this. Option 3, keep the car until you catch up on the value. Now, this is dangerous because it basically will never happen. If you're already behind on your payments, there is a very, very, very low, and I don't mean behind on your payments as in like a late payment. If you're already behind in equity, if you're already losing the battle of maintaining positive equity in your car, option 3 is it's basically just saying, okay, I'm going to pay this car off, and once it's eventually paid off and worth like maybe $1,000, $500 beater car, then you'll go trade it in. This option to me is the least creative and probably the worst idea for most people out there, because if you're smart enough and you use the techniques we do here, this option is pretty irrelevant. Option 4, this is an option that we're not going to talk about too much, but it's refinance your existing car with a shorter or better term loan. So for instance, one of you subscribers out there who actually contacted me directly about this, he unfortunately was taken advantage of by a sales team, and they put him in a car, Hyundai Sonata, for bad loan terms, high interest rate for a long period of time. So he's been making his payments, which has improved his credit score, but he has not made a lot of equity in the car. He still owes 10, 11, 12 grand on a car that's only worth 5 grand right now. So unfortunately, There's good and there's bad, but an option he could do or could have done in the past, which I'm not criticizing here, I'm just saying this is an option, is you can refinance car loans. As soon as your credit gets better, say you're at an 8, 9, 12% interest rate, as soon as your credit gets better, you can redo that loan with another bank or with the same bank, and that will both lower your interest rate and that will, by and large, lower your monthly payments just because you're getting a better deal. So it's like you get a redo on your car deal. So we'll have to have a whole nother video on refinancing, but let's do this mock-up deal for you guys so you can see what the heck I'm rambling about. Now, I picked basically the most loaded up SCAT pack out there because the savings were large, but it is a pricey vehicle. But hey, it's good. It fills our Wide Body Nation criteria. You know, we got the white, we got the carbon stripes, we got the black wheels that are coming on my red eye. I'm getting those same wheels, those deep dish 305s. It's got that red interior, which you gotta have. You gotta have the red interior. Carbon fiber on the interior as well. All right, let's get into it. So we are on an actual car website, as I said before. The MSRP of this vehicle, which I can show you right here, got the window sticker pulled up, $61,240. Remember, that includes destination, that includes any other, gas guzzler tax kind of stuff like that. Now, remember that this vehicle, it will qualify for your horsepower dollars. So it's $10 off for every horsepower the car has. So 485 horsepower times $10. So that's getting you about halfway to your savings price right here. But then the dealer also realizes that this is a very highly optioned SCAT pack. So they went ahead and took some more money off. So you're saving about $9,600. And that is where that Kelley Blue Book article is telling you, if you can save enough money on the new or used car that you're buying, it won't exactly cancel out the negative equity or the predicament that you find yourselves currently in, but it basically will, okay? And I will show you how right now. So MSRP $61,240 minus $9,600 in discounts, including your horsepower dollars. Now, I'm over here at Edmunds.com because this car buying calculator actually has all of the inputs we need. A lot of car buying calculators that I see out there do not have enough input slots to actually calculate the ins and outs of your trade-in. Now, on the topic of trade-ins, I have a whole nother video coming out tomorrow on the ins and outs of how to bump up your trade-in value by thousands and thousands of dollars. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna have to go quick through this video on it, but there's another video coming, guys. All right, let's put some inputs in and then we'll get rocking on this deal for you. Vehicle sales price, MSRP is $61,240. Sales tax, I'm gonna leave out of this equation because California is different than Tennessee, it's different than Georgia. So I don't want you guys to get skewed either way, cheaper or more expensive, because I just use a random state in here. So we're gonna keep it at 0. There will be sales tax in your state though, unless you know a way to go ahead and not pay that. Again, title and registration, that's unique to everyone's car deal. I left that out for this. Cash incentives, that's the discount. $9,600 off because this dealership is discounting heavily. They're almost discounting the car by almost 20%. Now, trade-in value. To go ahead and get a ballpark for your trade-in, the best thing to do is go to Edmunds.com and search for true market value. They're going to appraise your car in its condition. And the more honest you are with the appraisal, the better value you will get. So you're gonna go through, you can put in the VIN, which is best because it can actually see if your car has any damage to it. But if you don't have the VIN, just go ahead, put in the style. For me, I just did a 2012 Hyundai Sonata, 4-cylinder turbo, 100,000 miles, and put a Georgia zip code in here, and we should be good to go. So I said that the car is in clean or outstanding condition, so I'm gonna say it's worth $5,000. Okay, I'm gonna take the higher estimate of it and say it's worth $5,000. Okay, now let's say that you still owe $11,000 on the car. This is where we are going to start putting the information into our car buying calculator. So we're going to put the value of our trade in here, $5,000. Amount we owe on our trade in though is $11,000. So that means that you have negative $6,000, or you have $6,000 of negative equity. It's the wrong direction. It's not ideal, but we're factoring it into the car deal. For right now, we're gonna do no down payment just so I can show you guys how this deal is working. And then again, we'll start spicing this up and doing a little bit more intricate stuff here. Loan term, 72 months, 4% interest rate, because the gentleman who did contact me, he did tell me that one of the good things about his His current car deal, now it is tough because the interest rate is so bad, but his current car deal did get his credit from bad all the way up to a pretty good, like over 700. So now he is in a position to go ahead and execute the deal that we are talking about right now. For 72 months, 4% interest rate, I'm going to click calculate real quick, and it looks like we're financing the amount of $57,640. It's going to be $902 a month. Now, that is, to me, a relatively okay car payment, factoring in the car you're currently buying and the problematic situation that you find yourself in, being underwater or in a negative equity situation with your current 2012 Hyundai Sonata. Now, ways to go ahead and get this car payment down. Obviously, you can put a cash down payment down. So let's say, the car sales price was like 50 grand basically. So let's say you did 10% down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grand down. That lowers your monthly payment by almost $75. So that's lowering it down into the 800s, the low 800s, which is good. Now, I want to go back and explain to you guys what happened here. And that is, the car original price, MSRP, was $61,240. They gave you $9,600 off, so you're going in the right direction, right? You're cruising down, big discount, right? Horsepower dollars, dealer discount, it's good to go. The value of your trade-in is only 5 grand, whereas the amount you owe is 11 grand. So now they bumped it back up. They had to add 6 grand to the purchase price. So you went from 61 down to 51, but then you bump back up to about 56, 57. Yeah, 57. And that's what you're actually financing. So that is how they're going to depict it to you or how they should depict it to you at the dealership. Most dealerships have a deal sheet that you'll actually they'll show you, and they'll be like, price deduction, and then they're like, hey, you're upside down on your trade-in, so the price is now going up a little bit, and then that's your kind of out the door price. And then that's when they tell you, or they recommend to you, or you want to put 5 grand down, you want to put 15 grand down, that erases your negative equity issue right there. And now you got a $667 car payment for a great fully loaded Charger wide-body SCAT pack. I mean, there's multiple ways to do this deal, guys. So basically this down payment right here is whether or not you're basically dealing with the problem now, or if you go 0 or low down payment, that's basically you kicking the can down the road to your future self and making payments every month. And part of that payment is essentially, so let's say your negative equity is 6 grand. I'll put 6 grand in here, not negative 6 grand. I want positive 6 grand, please. Let's put 6 grand in here because that's their negative equity. 6 grand, you're basically making a $90 monthly payment from your undesirable deal, your 6 grand of negative equity. You're paying about $90 a month on top of your current car loan to go ahead and get rid of that Hyundai Sonata situation that you got yourself in. So how are we going to avoid getting ourselves in this same situation again? Well, the biggest thing up front is, making a great deal. So getting as much money off of the car that you're buying as possible. That's probably the most obvious to you. So in this case, we went from 61 down to basically 51 because we got $9,600 off. That is a good way to start. Next, we want to make sure our interest rate is as low as possible. So 4% interest rate, I would say 4% is about the highest that you guys want to be messing with. 4, maybe 5% for that, 5 or 6 year loan. Anything higher is gonna essentially guarantee you guys are gonna be back in the same situation from now, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, and we're just gonna have to try this process again. Next, this is not gonna work for everybody, but if you guys have heard of gap insurance, essentially gap insurance prevents this from becoming a boom, someone crashes into you and you're forced to shell out this money right away, through no fault of your own. So let's say that you're driving your Hyundai Sonata down the road, right? And some tractor trailer driver just T-bones the crap out of you and totals your car, right? The insurance company will pay you out as long as you have your insurance up to date and all good to go. But let's say that you do still owe 11 grand on it. Most insurance companies are only going to give you the actual cash value as if you basically traded it in or sold it at an auction. And so they would only give you maybe 5 grand. And then you'd be sitting there, the banks say, hey, we want all 11 grand right now. And you say, hey, I only have 5 grand, insurance company only give me 5 grand. That's why you buy gap insurance. Gap insurance is usually only a few hundred to maybe $1,000 on your loan. You have to buy at the time of your loan usually. Usually it's sold like by the bank. Some insurance companies do it, some don't. It basically protects the gap. It shows the gap right here. So in your situation with the $6,000 of negative equity or $6,000 underwater, it would cover $6,000. The $6,000 difference. That insurance policy would pay out that $6,000 to the bank after you or the other insurance company gave the bank the $5,000 for the actual value of the car. So getting gap insurance for when you're financing a car, unless you are rolling out of the dealership making big down payments, or if you just got the craziest steal of a deal and you already have some positive equity in the car, I highly recommend gap insurance to people. I will do another video on gap insurance. I will do another video on trade-in, how to get the best value for your trade-in, because after you guys watch my trade-in video, you're going to be able to be like, hey man, at the dealership's going to be like, wait a second, we just agreed to give you $6,500 for this car. Like, what the heck? So boom, $6,500. You just lowered your monthly payment by probably 15, 20, 25 bucks. You kind of erased some of the problem for yourself. So knowing how to negotiate your trade-in value up and the price of the car down is how you basically get to the best deal possible. I hope that helps you guys out. I've been getting a lot of questions on that. If I need to explain things more, which I already have videos coming out to follow this up with like the very specific parts of it, please let me know in the comments below. A quick reminder that down in the description, there is also a ton of value down there. There is 3 free stocks by signing up for Webull. So you sign up and they give you 3 free stocks when you deposit your first $100 to go ahead and trade stocks. So the stock market is crazy right now, as you guys know. So go ahead, jump in while stocks are cheaper. It's a buying opportunity, and then you can go ahead and make big money, big profits on the back end when everyone gets all confident to get back in the market. Again, that's 3 free stocks when you deposit $100, and that's valued up to $1,600 of free stocks they'll give you. Most of the time, the free stocks are between 12 and 50 bucks a piece. So there's still some good value there. Don't forget to subscribe. Again, these are burning a hole in my countertop right here. And I will see you guys for the next video. Stay safe out there, keep grinding, and I appreciate you tuning in.